Hi everyone, we are working in the garden shed today. It is the middle of the day, it's super hot outside, it's the end of June, right before the 4th of July, and the heat is bad. So I have some work that I can do later this evening, but I wanted to get to potting up our tomato plant. So as you might remember, we started some tomatoes by seed. A lot of them, almost all of them I would say, germinated, and we're to the point where we should have potted these up about a week or two ago. They're still at a good point where we would upsize them. Upsizing just means taking them from their growing container size that might be small, let's say like a seedling tray, to something a little bit larger than that. So what I did real quick that you might have just saw was that I started our dirt, I got it moistened, our garden seedling soil, and I moistened it so we can pack it into our trays. Let me show you what that looks like. Larger size trays. This is repurposed from another plant. These are all nursery containers from other plants, and we added a little soil at the bottom. We're gonna put the seedling down in there, and then we'll go ahead and add the seedling soil on top of it. So this is what it looks like, and that should be okay. I think each of these should get us to about this point, and that will be great, because then from here on, this is what we call the true leaves. So the first two true leaves that the seedling grew from are the initial two, and then from there what we'll do is we'll take the true leaves off, and then from there this one can straighten out, and then we will put these, after they have been in their new containers for 2 to 3 weeks, we will put these out at the garden area we created behind the shop. Interestingly enough, I went ahead and off camera last week planted some okra. Okra loves heat, and it's going to be July, August, September. We're going to have a lot of heat, and so it's perfectly fine if you didn't get okra in the spring. Don't worry about it. It really loves the heat and it thrives. So we put those in. So if you recall, these were our Gardener Supply seedlings. And this section didn't take for something else we had here, and so I went ahead and just pushed down little pelleted, let me show you. These are okra seeds that are pelleted. If you can see, they have little pellets around it so that you can plant that more easily because the seedling was so tiny. And then the minute we took water off of this seedling tray, this pumpkin came up, and so this whole tray was sugar pumpkins, which we have down at the garden by the shop. We have some of these, but this one went ahead and sprouted. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to put other things in this tray later, this one and this one. But what I'm going to do is just get started on these tomato plants. This is Grand Marzano. These are Marzano strawberry, or not strawberries, tomatoes. So we're going to plant up this cell first, so that cell will probably cover all of these, and we'll put that in there. And then this next one, it actually, let me see if I can show you, too much of the tag disappeared. So again, I said this in a previous video, these wooden ones aren't a great tagging system. Don't use them. Use the plastic, because that doesn't disappear. But what we'll do is we'll start with the Marzano tomatoes, and we'll work our way over to the other. Little tomato plants love to touch each other and not let go, so you're stuck with pulling them apart. Okay, so if you recall, there were 2 seeds per cell when we did this. Sometimes 3. It looks like everything germinated, so we're moving them to these bigger cells. What I've done is I put a little soil in the bottom of the container, and actually what I'm finding is it doesn't need quite this much, so just very little soil. And then we're pulling those tomatoes out of our little seedling trays, which our goal was to plant 1 on either side. So 1 on this side, 1 on that side. Now it looks like this next one has 3. And our little tomato plants love to keep touching and hugging each other. So they're really delicate when you separate them from each other. We ended up getting quite a few let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tomatoes out of 3 trays. You can use your little tool that I got from Gardener Supply. It's a seedling. I don't know what you call it actually. I'll have to look it up, but it's just pulls your seedlings out so that they're placed all together like that. And you can, what I would do is just kind of push the soil apart. And as you can see, it will separate it if they want to let go of each other for you. Kind of like onions, these are not intertwined. They're not intertwined root systems if you don't let them go too far, so they will separate pretty easily. Okay, so I'm gonna set this one aside and this one aside and let us focus on one at a time. Now, if you see this seedling went up and then over, it was growing toward the sun. So we've talked about leggy plants before. The fix for this is to try to plant it in a container as deep as you can go. I'm gonna move that soil back so that it starts presenting upright growth. So you want it to get used to growing upright again, not toward the sun like it was doing, which it'll naturally continue to do that if you have it in a, I'm in the garden shed right now, so in an area that has a window. That window will be its light to the world, and until it goes outside, it wants to grow wherever the light is, not up like the sun is in the sky. So let me get the rest of these planted, and then we'll move on to the next couple cells. Take a look, that's our first 6. Now we got 3 more out of this 3 seedling cells. So 3 cells on the Gardener Supply container, and it ended up germinating 9 plants for us. And that's okay, because I'm gonna go ahead and let these grow a little bit, and then we'll plant some down at the shop garden, but also I can give them as gifts. So this one, as you can see, is a perfect example. It grows up and over. They were laying across the seedling cells, and the best course of action is a month ago. If you had time right away, if you see a seedling that's this length in total, go ahead and pot that up. You don't have to wait for it to get twice that size like I did. Okay friends, this is the end of the Japanese trifle blacks. And we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 from this one. I think I counted more when I originally was numbering these. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay, so we're gonna give these some water. I am going to call it a day. It is 3:30, so it's the hottest part of the day, which was smart of me to start this project in the heat, but baby was sleeping and I wanted to get some of this done. Tonight we'll be digging holes, so when it cools off we'll be doing that. So this was definitely the easier project to do in the heat. If I had to do it, I could sit here and take the time. I keep 3 water cans full in this shed because I got the big one, the small one, and the white one. I don't like hauling water back and forth. I would love for this area to have water run to it, but we're not there yet. Every year, our yard and our projects get better. I am the least patient person when it comes to fun projects that I would like to see in my garden, in my house. I'm always working on projects. In fact, I think I get bored when we're not remodeling something or I'm not planting something. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Today we did the video on our phone. So if you're a content creator and you want to know the different platforms in which you can record video, this one's done on our phone today. So the video quality will be different than when we recorded on the GoPros. However, I started out with a GoPro. It got so hot in the shed that the GoPro kept overheating. So we improvised and we made it work. Anyway, this is Christina within the garden. As usual, if you like this video, please hit the like button. That helps me. And if you want to share this with somebody, just an individual who maybe gardens as a hobby but not take themselves too seriously, this might be the channel for you. Again, I'm not an expert, but I do love dabbling in the gardening realm, and it gives me peace when I'm not working or with my kids, and it gives me something to do. So thank you guys. Have a great day.